Hey guys, this is Ray Halstead. I've got Andrew McMillan here with me. We're with REH CPAs in Mooresville, North Carolina. We help small business owners with taxes, bookkeeping, payroll, and some other advisory services here, not only here in Mooresville, but the surrounding area, including Charlotte. I've got Andrew here with me today. Andrew, one of the biggest things that we look at whenever we first get a small business owner is, are they a good fit for an S corporation? And then naturally, one of the questions is, well, how do the S corp taxes work? How does that whole process work? If you could kind of go over what's involved in having an S corp created and the process.
Yeah, so like you said, S-Corps are a lot of times a really great entity structure for business to be taxed as. And to create an S-Corporation, there's a couple steps that you want to make sure you follow. First, you either want to have an LLC in place or an Inc. in place, an INC, an incorporated business. And you're going to do that at the Secretary of State level. Once you get that done, you want to go and make sure that you get a federal ID number for your business, which is essentially just a social security number for your business. Your next step is filing what's known as a Form 2553 with the IRS. And this is critical because this form filing actually allows your LLC or your Inc. that you've created to be taxed as an S corporation. Right. And it's critical that you get that filed with the IRS because if you don't, that you're not an S corp if you don't get that filed. So, we get this a lot. A lot of guys come in the office and they say they're an S corporation, and after we do some digging and some discussing about the account, you come to find out that the 2553 form was never filed. The attorney that was supposed to send it in never filed it. The accountant that was supposed to send it in never sent it in. Or even sometimes if you do send it in, it can get lost along the way. I mean, the IRS receives a lot of paper mail, so. It's not unheard of for this to get lost. So how you know it was accepted by the IRS is you should receive a letter from the IRS in about 60 days that says your S election has been accepted, and it gives you an effective date of when that S election is going into effect, going to be taking place. So
yeah, you definitely want that letter. That
sure.
letter is one of the first things we ask for when we get a client that's an S corporation, even if they've been filing as an S corporation for several years.
Yep.
You don't know how many times we are skeptical. Every time when a client comes in, we're skeptical. They say they're an S corporation. And it happens a good bit where we actually do a little bit of digging and find out that they are not. And let me tell you, that causes some major problems. So you definitely want to make sure you get that letter. If you don't get that letter, we need to start inquiring.
Sure. Yeah. So once you get that letter, you're good to go from there. Moving forward, you're going to be filing a separate tax return on what's known as a Form 1120S, and it's going to be due at March 15th of every year. So yeah, that's how you get an S corp set up.
Awesome, Andrew. So that's kind of how you set up an S corporation. Talk to me and tell our folks a little bit about what some of the benefits of an S corporation can be, if it's for the right person.
Yeah. So again, all of this has to be scrutinized.
Absolutely, it has to be evaluated
because an S corp isn't just an automatic perfect fit for everyone. So really, though, one of the biggest benefits of an S corporation is being able to manage the self-employment tax that you're going to pay. Self-employment tax is those FICA taxes that you pay or payroll taxes. So FICA tax, payroll tax, self-employment tax, that's all one and the same in this example. So if you're an S corporation, the net profit that you have to pay taxes on from that business, it is not subject to FICA tax, a self-employment tax.
Right. Whereas if you were a Schedule C, all of your net income would have what's called self-employment tax on it. But with an S corp, I guess you just pay the FICA tax on the payroll, and what's left over, the net business income, you won't have any FICA tax.
Exactly. So really, it allows you to manage how much you want to pay in that FICA tax because you're only paying it on your payroll wage.
Yeah, and we get a lot of clients that get concerned, like, well, I can't, it's hard for me to get on a payroll because my cash flow isn't always even. So I don't always know what my pay is going to be. How else am I going to get money out?
Yeah, well, so another beauty of an S corp is you can take what's known as a shareholder distribution from the business, and generally those distributions are going to be tax-free to you as long as you have what's known as shareholder basis, which is an extremely complicated issue of the tax return, but at a very general level, shareholder basis is kind of like a checking account. You can only take out of that checking account what you put into it. So we calculate shareholder basis for you, and we'll help you manage that. But at a high level, S corporations are going to allow you to take distributions from the company that aren't through payroll that are not going to be taxable to you.
Right. So, but you will still be taxed on the net income of the business, right?
You will. You just don't want to have to pay that self-employment tax like you would if you're a sole proprietor.
And that's kind of the game is being able to manage that self-employment
Exactly.
tax whenever you're looking at my Schedule C or do I have to go to an S corporation. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot to goes into whether or not you should be an S corporation. You definitely want to come in and if you're thinking about this, you definitely want to come in there and see us so that we can analyze your situation. And because, everybody always comes and says, well, my buddy said be an S corporation. That's what we hear. Well, my friend said this. Well, I looked on the internet. I should be an S corporation. Man, it depends, right? Because there's a bunch of different situations and scenarios, especially with the tax laws this year, that sometimes it's better just to remain a Schedule C. Sometimes it's better to go an S Corp, but you need to understand all the different facets. That's why we definitely recommend you come in and see us to get to help us dig into the numbers and make sure it makes sense for you.
Yeah, for sure. You always cringe when someone tells my buddy's an S corp or they're doing it this way because there's always more to the picture that you don't always see, and it's really key to have someone who understands the rules, understands what's going on, and can help you get that perfect entity for your business.
Absolutely. Andrew, I really appreciate the explanation on the S Corps. Again, my name is Ray Halstead. This is Andrew McMillan. We're with REH CPA. If you need help setting up your entity, just give us a call.